Most of you are jumping like kangaroos. So I hope everyone is alive and fresh. So this morning we have some questions, but before the questions, I'll share just a few thoughts. What is time calling me to do? Good question. And once Avyak Bapdada was meeting the children, and Baba said, it's on the basis of purity you feel extremely close to Baba, in front of Baba, or at a distance from Baba. In other words, my sense of relationship with Baba depends a lot on the purity in the soul. Baba is eternally pure. If I want to come close to Baba, we all want to come closer to Baba. How? I've got to increase my purity. We are old souls. And for an old soul, as soon as we come to Baba and we hear about purity, not just celibacy, but everything to do with purity, we know it's right. We know it's the truth. Why do we love Baba? It's because of his purity. Embedded in Baba's purity is innocence, love, closeness, belonging, so many feelings. And my own experience is that when you feel clean inside, pure, you feel comfortable about who you are. You know, you feel easy. You feel it's right. But if there's some impurity inside, it's not just impurity, it's almost like I'm going against my truth. There's a discomfort. You know, you can feel uncomfortable about yourself inside. And that's why really I find it amazing. You can go to all the spiritual groups, all the religious groups. They talk about peace, love, happiness, power. Only Baba talks about purity, because that's the foundation of everything. And you know, once there was a sister who did a Google search of all the subjects Baba talks about. And what do you think is the main subject Baba talks about? Love. Second is purity. The whole Muali this morning, the essence was, children, you know, remember me. To me, I often say, I like everything natural now. To me, Raja Yoga is completely natural. If I feel I'm forcing myself, pressuring myself, I have to, I must do, I'm still a bucket. This is religion, this is devotion. What is Raja Yoga? It's falling in love with Baba. It's that simple. And none of us have to learn how to do that. It's recorded in our DNA to fall in love. What happens when I naturally fall in love with Baba? I naturally remember Baba. I don't have to think, oh, I should remember, I must. When I naturally remember Baba, I naturally transform. If I'm naturally remembering the one who's incorporeal, egoless, and viceless, what do I become? And when I naturally transform, I naturally serve. Because of my face, my vibrations, my manner, actually everything in this life is really completely natural. It's not forcing, pushing, pressuring. So the first subject is love, the second is purity. And once I did a whole research of all the Avyak Mulis about purity. If this is the subject that's going to bring me absolutely close to Baba, I have to learn more. The things Baba said, that purity is the real method for self-respect. If I really want to regain my sense of self-value in every situation, purity. Purity is the real method for happiness. What does Baba say? Purity is the mother of peace and happiness. Purity is the real method for spiritual power. And Baba said, how did the prophet souls begin their religions? Buddha, Christ, Abraham. Baba said it was their purity. They had so much opposition, but it was their purity that enabled them to establish the religion. And Baba said, just as the law of karma is very deep, so is the definition of purity. And Baba said that, you know, in a day, you're going along in the day, and suddenly a little wave of sadness comes through your mind, a little bit of sorrow. Baba said that's a gross or subtle form of impurity. And when there's really a pure soul, a soul is really pure, Baba said, even if you insult them to their face, they won't feel it. Are you ready for that? If someone insults you, you don't feel it. I used to have this saying for myself, only my ego accepts sorrow. If I'm taking sorrow or disrespect from anyone, know the false self is ruling. It's my ego. I'm not soul-conscious. Definitely anything that hurts me, upsets me, disturbs me, is telling me I'm not soul-conscious. I'm still body-conscious or semi-body conscious in that way. So what is purity? Purity is a state of being when all aspects of my life, purity is a state of being when all aspects of my life are based on truth. Truth is the seed. And when you sow the seed of truth in yourself, when it flows into your face, your drishti, your thoughts, it becomes purity. Purity is like an expression of truth. God is like the ocean of truth. Every word Baba speaks is unadulterated truth. And a question that many of us have, when we become Baba's child, how to increase my purity? How to grow the quality of my purity? And I feel if I sow 3 seeds in my mind, 3 seeds of truth in the core of my being, as they grow, automatically they draw out my original purity. The more you're in that feeling of cleanliness and purity, you will feel peaceful, your self-respect will grow, you won't be so influenced by others, etc. The first seed of truth to sow in the soul, to regrow my purity, is all relationships with one. To me, this is the most powerful point of spiritual knowledge. Actually, the real Raja Yoga is all relationships with Shiv Baba. You know, if I have all relationships with the one who's incorporeal, egoless, and viceless, what do I become? If I have a relationship with Baba, but I also sustain dependent relationships with others, family members, what happens is that on the one hand, I'm remembering Baba and going in that direction, but on the other hand, each time I have yoga with my children, my family members, a bodily being, I give power back to my impurity. Srimat is not rules and regulations. Some BKs, okay, sometimes some of Baba's children become like spiritual policemen. This one followed Srimat, this one's not following Srimat. Very superficial spirituality. Srimat is a deep code of truth, how to live in this world and go beyond the give and take of sorrow. If I follow Srimat with deep understanding, it will lift me out of this game of giving sorrow and taking sorrow. So, as I start to follow Srimat, I won't do any further bad action. I will not create any further bad karma. So I just have to settle my past. The third truth, to sow in the soul, to really draw out the purity, is benevolence for everyone. And this was today's Muali too. And really, I feel so strongly just how to live in this world now. Just be the angel, love Baba, give blessings to everyone. What was that Muali a few weeks ago? Give blessings and take blessings. That's the formula for life. And when I sow these seeds, when I really focus on all relationships with one, living Srimat like it's natural, and having goodwill, benevolence for all, it starts to draw out the original purity in all of us. Our original sanskaras in the soul are absolutely pure. And when I sow this truth, it starts to harvest those original feelings and original sanskaras. Actually, impurity is all about influence. And if I'm easily influenced by people, their opinions, their behaviors, emotions, situations, state of the economy, anything, it's actually revealing to me my impurity. When we began the cycle, when we started the cycle, the soul was in full bloom of purity. And when we got halfway to the Copper Age, as the soul became a bit empty, I looked outside, and the law says whatever I desire will influence me. If I desire you to love me, if you love me, I'm great. If you don't love me, I'm upset. If I desire you to respect me, if you respect me, I'm good. If you don't. So I become dependent on you giving me what I need. By the end of the cycle, everything influences me. And that's when we come to Baba, we're so sensitive, so affected by everything. Actually, that's my impurity. And Baba comes to heal us and heal us from, the influence of matter. And sometimes I think, the tiny soul, how tiny is the human soul? The latest study of biology, they believe, the scientists, that this body, we all have our own car, is made up of 30 trillion cells. Not billion, not million, trillion. It's huge. The soul is more subtle than one cell. Think about it. Who am I really? How deeply have I even recognized who I am? I am more subtle than one cell. And, really when I start to go into these things, in a sense, the sanskara of lust is the attraction to matter, the attraction to name, form, shape, and color. So this divine human soul, which was completely detached, has come under the influence of the material world and desires and is attracted by name, form, shape, color, beauty, and so many things. So Baba begins to heal that. And then Baba begins to heal the influence of other souls. And once Baba said, children, the reason you're defeated in purity is when you become impressed with somebody. And Baba said, when you become impressed with somebody, you are deceived. And when you are deceived, you take sorrow. So sometimes we say, oh, this soul is so good. They give me a lot of love. I love the way they teach. They're so sweet. They always cooperate with me. And you think, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Baba says to see good in everyone. But our habit of 63 births is to make others our gurus. And what happens is when I get impressed, even with another BK, slowly I put them on a pedestal. And what happens? Baba slowly goes out of my vision. And I'm sort of have a human soul in my vision. And really, we can't underestimate that what I've seen is the real Brahmins that win Baba's trust have put themselves completely under the canopy of one, all relationships with one. They love everyone, they're close to everyone, they interact with everyone, they cooperate with everyone, but their heart is 100% with one. This is the recipe for true purity and spiritual power. Sometimes I think we started the cycle pure, and by the end of the cycle we have so many karmic accounts with so many souls. We came naked, we accumulate so much, now we have to let it all go and have all relationships with one. And I feel that sometimes, how can I tell my level of purity? How do I know the quality of my purity? It's my reactions to others. Once Daddy Janki said, the most tamo pradhan of all sanskaras is to reject somebody, push them away. And if I reject somebody, if I give somebody the silent treatment, I don't speak to them, I ignore them. It's like they don't exist. If I hold grudges, it's showing me I still have tamo pradhan sanskars. The other person is just an instrument. It's not about them. It's my reactions. And so if I reject somebody, have a grudge to somebody, don't speak to somebody, it's showing me that I still have this quality of sanskara within me. It's me, actually. It's not them. They're the instrument to show me who I am. And that's why this family becomes like a mirror. What are tamo sanskaras? I would say that I get easily upset. A little thing happens and I make it into a big thing. Or I'm constantly critical. In my mind, I'm thinking, I don't like this, I don't like that, why they like this, why I like that. Once again, it's not about the other person. It's me, they're my reactions. It's showing me that I still have tamo sanskars. Or if I have a special friend and I get together and we about everyone, oh, they're like this, they're like that. It's showing me who I am. What are rajo sanskaras? Rajo sanskaras are preferences. I like you, I don't like you. I like this behavior, I don't like that behavior. Sato sanskaras are to be loving, to be merciful, to be forgiving, to have good wishes and pure feelings. And when it's natural for me like that, I know my sanskaras have improved and I know my purity is really growing. It's nothing all other people do. They're instruments to show me who I am. And that's where when I really am aware of this, then I begin to check myself. If I don't like somebody, it's showing me I have rajo sanskaras. They're just the instrument to show me. So Baba heals us in our relationships with others. And he even not only heals the impurity of matter, the impurity in our relationships, but the impurity in me. And one of the things I've realized is that we all have a story of the past. You know, each one of us sitting here, our childhood, our family life. It's the Iron Age. Many things have happened. Not good things sometimes. And so often I think my story, like I carry in my mind what they said to me, what people have done to me, how the family has treated me, what has happened. And even though Baba says, child, you have a new life, still, rather than identifying with being a BK, an angel, and a deity, I still identify with my past story. Quite honestly, most of Baba's children, you know, we keep identifying what's happened, how it's not right, it's not good, it's not fair. That holds me back. It's like, Baba says, identify with your pure self, your original sanskaras, but I'm a Brahmin, but I still identify with my impure self. And this is really, I think, that to consciously make a plan to draw out the original purity in the soul. Because I find when there's purity, you're strong, you're stable, you're unshakable. You get back that internal resilience, which we all need to manage this really crazy world, which we're all trying to live in. And one thing I learned is that I have to learn to love purity. Because sometimes my head says it's right. Yes, I believe it's true. But my sanskaras keep pulling me to people and attractions and things like that. When I realize that it's purity that's really going to heal me and make me whole and strong, It's not just enough to believe. It's like I love Baba and I love purity. And when I really love purity, then a deep healing automatically takes place. And what happens is the intellect, rather than being influenced by my body conscious sanskaras, my intellect starts to be influenced by my original and pure sanskaras.